So another one of the challenges we're finding today is that often there's this premise that if women are advancing, that somehow men are losing in the workplace. That women's advancement, women's equity and equality in the workplace, men are losing in that way, which is absolutely not true. We see again from a capacity perspective that organizations today, as we become more gender diverse and they become more successful in those organizations, that there's an expansion of the organization, an expansion of the mission, and the opportunity grows for everybody when we do that. And so I think one of the challenges is really beginning to understand some of the narratives that are coming out of this and really using some of the evidence and looking at the data that supports, again, why gender equity is good, not just for women, but it's also good for the organization. And I think that's an important part of the conversation is how it grows the team, how it grows the organization, how it grows what you're trying to accomplish within your organization. And that, I think that messaging gets lost. And the final piece of this that I think is really important, and I really hope that all the men out there hear this that are listening to your podcast, and the women will share this with men that they care about, is that men have a lot to gain when they become more equitable allies in the workplace. So allyship is like, you think of it as a form of leadership. Maybe inclusive leadership might be a way to frame that. And as we begin to become better from a skill-based perspective of recognizing unique strengths of people who are different from us, it takes some work on our part to really begin to understand that, where are the unique contributions that those people can make if we leverage those unique strengths in the organization. So getting past more than just inclusion in the organization, but really helping people to thrive within the organization. And I think that is something that gets lost as we become better allies, better inclusive leaders in the organization. We become more successful too. And again, we see that in the research that these men, we've seen it from a mentoring perspective, from an allyship perspective, from a leadership perspective, that they gain in places like increased access to information, which makes us more powerful and more capable of doing better work. We see higher empathy, better emotional intelligence, better communication skills. All of these things make us better as leaders in our organization, better colleagues and coworkers in our organization. And I think the really incredible part of that is that you get to take those home with you. So you don't check them at the door when you go home at night, and you take them home, and it makes you a better partner and a better parent. So again, these are things that cross domains and make us better. But that part of the story, that part of the narrative often gets left out, the what's in it for me, for men.